special guests. Would you like to introduce yourself to the listener?
Of course, bro. It's Kai here from the Wright Brothers, joined by my bro.
What's going on, everyone? It's Ty from the Wright Brothers, and yeah, man, we're here to chop it up and get into it about the show still.
Kai and Ty.
That's it.
Amazing. And that is just coincidence. They ain't fake names. No.
Well, my name is Kieran.
Okay.
But it was a long time ago growing up. I used to get called Kai for various reasons. Kyron. And Kai kind of stuck, basically.
Why? Because people couldn't pronounce Kieran?
No, they could, but it was, you know what it was? It was a social media identity I had when I was very young. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like you adopt it, and you know, some people you just create your social media name, and then everyone kind of sticks to it, and it became a reality.
Fair enough. Okay.
Really. Amongst other names that I'm called as well, but Kai's.
We won't go into that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. All right, so let's go straight into it. What are we promoting today? What's going on? What's happening?
We are here to promote the Wright Brothers, which is a live theatre production about love and romance, based in London. And I guess the ethos of the play, or the kind of tagline is, I don't know why I'm looking over there. The tagline is kind of like, the streets need a love story.
Yes.
So basically, from our perspective, it's like we're given a different type of story to culture, to the London, to the community, from the same voices that are giving you other content as well.
Yeah.
And just one more thing is not to shun any other kind of show out there, which is sometimes might be their sort of perception.
Yeah.
But just to say, listen, let's celebrate every angle of our community.
Yep.
Let's celebrate every kind of story, because listen, real G's fall in love as well. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much, the ethos of it.
So what is your background, both of you? Did you go to performing arts school? Have you got a background in writing, in art, in acting? How did you lead to this point?
So we're cousins, basically, yeah?
Okay.
And we grew up like in the church, and obviously we should do like the Christmas plays and nativity plays and things like that in it. And I think naturally, as how we are as people, we just kind of always been that center of attention. We just kind of liked, you know what I'm trying to say, just being active, basically, innit? Yeah. And when we was young, we used to do madness. We used to we bought a camera. We bought like a £1,500 camera or something like that when we was literally like teenagers. This is before the whole YouTube wage and everything.
£1,000 camera.
And
Where did you get this £1,000?
We was walking up and down, yeah. We was walking up and down Clapham High Street, yeah. Just filming, doing random things that you see on YouTube now that go viral. We was doing this back in the days, basically, innit? And there was no like long-term vision. We just did it for the fun of it and for the sake of doing it, basically, innit? Yeah. And then as time kind of went on,
YouTube days, obviously.
This is kind of before things was really going on YouTube.
Okay. So how are you going viral before YouTube?
No, we was going viral. We were just putting things. We were just doing it for the sake of doing it. So I was trying to say, we didn't even have. We didn't have a channel. We didn't do how it is now. Wasn't the thinking back then, basically. We're talking like maybe 10 plus years ago. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So then we got invited to a drama club.
Okay.
And it was so random. It was like a Monday afternoon. We was chilling, and one of my brethren called me and goes, "Yo, there's a drama club later. Do you want to come?"
Yeah.
It's like, "Right, I mean, I know it's cool. Might as well go."
Yeah.
And then I went, and then that's how it really kind of got started, kind of going into the acting thing. It was just something different from what we was doing before.
Where was this club?
Oak Kent Road.
Oak Kent Road, okay.
Yeah.
So randomly, you're just out there just causing chaos on the streets with your £1,000 camera, right? And then someone goes, you know what, there's a drama class, you want to come? And you don't win. Nah, that's not how it goes.
Bro, it was mad. Like, then I called my cousin, so my other brother showed me about it. Then I was like, fam, there's a drama club, you should come to it, and he was a little bit skeptical at first.
Yeah, I can
get me?
I get that.
I was like, fam, it's actually alright still. It's actually kind of live still. And then, we just,
How old were you at the time?
I was 20 at the time.
Because I'm just picturing myself being 20 and me running around the streets and saying to one of my boys, well, you know what? There's a drama class going on. Do you want to go? Like, do you know the amount of stones that get dashed at me?
100%, bro. When he told me about it, I was like, I wasn't living that kind of lifestyle to be going drama. You know what I'm saying? So when he told me about it, I'm like, bro, what's man talking about? Drama, acting? Yeah. And every week he was going with my other boy, and we were all coming from the same neighborhood. We were all doing the same sort of thing. So to see them balancing doing that and doing other things, it's like, maybe I can just go to it and see what it's about, because they were going like week after week for like weeks on end, months on end even. So then like, I just thought, I'll go one time, and actually, it was actually kind of lit. Like, I think it was so different to go there and to be able to like be so free. Do you know what I mean? Like especially coming from where we're coming from, everything's quite, everyone's judged. We're all kind of in a box, and no one's really expressive. Like when you meet the young youths today, it's sort of like, cool.
Facts, exactly.
So that was a chance to change that. Sorry, go ahead.
So go.
So that was a chance to experience something different. So when I went there, they were like going like just do something, and it was the freest feeling that I ever had up to that point in my life.
So how do you do that? Because even to today, I struggle with that. Like, because you've got a certain persona that you need to keep, and then people will judge you on appearance and whatever. So how do you go from being the guy that's out on the high street with a camera, causing chaos and doing whatever you're doing without the camera, to the guy that goes into the drama class and lets go of that and is able to be free?
I think it's letting go. It's letting go of any.
But how do you do it? Because you're still, because you walk in there, you're still, your mind is still going to be your mind.
Yeah.
So as far as you're concerned, you're still going to be judged by the people inside these four walls.
No, because that's what they set up, a safe space.
Okay.
So when you go inside, if you go, so we've gone to, I've been to other drama schools since that point, like to further my education.
Yeah.
But when you enter these spaces like drama, rehearsals, the first thing that you need to understand is that it's a safe space. There is no judgment here. Be free. You probably see videos of like, even maybe it might be a comedy or might be real rehearsing, but people okay, be a dog on the floor, and they have you doing animals in the room. Like,
did they ask you to do that?
Bro, you have to. Drama school is the craziest thing.
Yeah,
you have to, you have to embody, become a cow. And you're sitting there, they're judging you. It's bro, you
know what? This
stuff.
is interesting to me because I'm still picturing if I was in that position and someone said to me, you know what, come down to this drama club, and I said, you know what, all right, I'll give it a go. And if I walk in there and someone says, yo, be a cow, I'm not happy, you know.
You know, it is, yeah. So it takes the time for you to feel comfortable to get to that point, yeah. But just to add to what my cousin was saying, basically, is that what you have to understand is that the people in these theatre spaces is different from people on the roads. When you talk about perception, they're not judging you in the same way that you'd be judged on the road.
But in your own mind, you're still that person.
It is. But then you come to understand is that like, I don't have to look, quote unquote, like an idiot or a Nico. Do you know what I mean? I have to look like, you know, a certain type of way in these spaces. I can be free and do, you know, as you said, be a cow or be an animal. These people are going to accept it and embrace it and encourage you to you know, channel your inner creativity. Cool. And then when you come out of it, then you switch on. You're like, raw, I can't. You know what I'm trying to say? So it is a balance still, but I think the more you let go of the inhibitions and stop caring what other people think. Yeah. Especially, you know, on the road where there's so much negativity, you're allowed to be free and just, you know, be the person you're meant to be, basically, innit?
Just one more thing as well, like, actually, in that drama club, when you go there, everyone there was from the hood. Okay. So when you walked inside there, it wasn't like you going inside there full of people that you couldn't relate to. You saw a man that you probably saw on the block yesterday at the drama club because you heard someone talking about it. There was like 15, 20 man there. And everyone was doing the same thing. So when you come, then you see other guys doing it. It's like, oh, man can do that. Like, you do it, and then you come out, and it's like, all right, back to whatever grind you were doing.
Was it that acceptable where you was like, blood, why are you here? Like,
it was like more so you heard everyone was telling their friends of a friends, and everyone just started joining, and everyone was coming. It was like, I don't know, I can't even explain it, but everyone there was like coming from the same place. It was like we were all just like, we were all pretty much just living in the blocks, living in the hood, living in the area, and we just all kind of just came together, and it was the craziest thing, but the most beautiful thing at the same time, if that makes sense. It was mad.
So your beginning, so you were at church, and then you went on to the drama club, and that's how you that's how you got your first feet into, let's say, the acting world. From there, what else did you do? Then how did you progress from there?
And then, so we just kind of kept going with that.
At that point, did you know that's what you want to do with your life?
I mean, do you know what? To be honest with you, it still didn't feel like a reality because we still didn't see people like us on TV. We didn't see, do you know what I mean? There was still that big conversation about, you know, diversity. And I know it's still happening now, but you see, you know, people like John Boyega, who was one of the people actually that we actually went to the drama club with. Okay. Yeah, do you know what I mean? And you're just seeing him in Star Wars now doing big things. So, you know, it's come a long way. But back then, it was something, it was almost an extracurricular. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't something that we saw, for me speaking in, it wasn't something that I even saw myself doing, but it's something to do for now. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
At that time, did you have any ambition to do anything? Did you have any direction?
Yeah, I mean, I always knew I wanted to do something.
You want to be a footballer? Everyone wants to be a footballer.
Yeah, everyone wants to be a baller. But I think I personally never had no ambition to be. I had ambition and drive, but I didn't know what that was. Where to direct it. So that was never a real. We just done it because we enjoyed it. Right. It was a passion. It was passion. But there was never a point where, you know, let's really make this become our career. It was just like out of the passion. Okay. And then we started putting on our own shows, like our own projects, our own plays, our own theatre shows. Okay. Did you ever see House Party with Kid and Play? Yeah. And the Greedo High Tops? Yeah. So we put on a UK version of that on the stage. Okay. And we both played the lead characters, and we had like a cast group of like 20.
You both played lead characters?
Yeah.
Okay, one of you can't be Kid.
Yeah,
none
bro,
of you can be kids.
listen, it's a
Kid.
diversity. It's diversity.
Right, okay.
You were encouraging diversity at that time.
Not light enough.
But I was kid and he was play.
You're the worst person to play kid.
Bro, we're encouraging diversity. You've seen it, people. You've seen Aladdin was. I swear Aladdin was played by a white man the other day. You know,
Fair.
Diversity, right? I don't encourage that though. I think that you should try and stick to reality. But for the purpose of that show, that's what we done, and it worked. It was a great project.
Yeah.
We had people queuing around the corners coming to see.
Where was it?
It was mad. It was at the Lost Theatre in Vauxhall.
Okay.
And we done it at the Unicorn Theatre in London Bridge.
Okay.
So it was like, it was big.
How long ago was this?
Oh, this was back in 2012, 2010, 2010 even.
So how are you promoting this? Just flyers and
Word of mouth,
Yeah.
flyers,
Yeah.
word of mouth. No, this is pre-social media. Word of mouth, flyers. And because we had such a big cast group of other like actors in it, they were just telling friends of friends of friends, and the word just went like wildfire.
Yeah,
But it was dope, and that's kind of where the origins were, where we began creating art, kind of taking ownership and creating our own projects.
And that was your first project?
Yeah.
So I'd imagine, so that's good that it sold out, because I'd imagine if that flopped and didn't go well, you probably would have said, you know what, this ain't for us.
Potentially,
Yeah.
potentially.
Possibly,
But then, possibly, probably would have.
But the fact that it went well, you said, you know what, I like this, this is good.
Yeah, but then we still didn't really take it seriously as a career. It was still purely for passion. Like that sold out, but at no point did we sit down and say we can really make something out of this.
Okay.
Because again, now you have social media and you see the opportunities that people are creating and the entrepreneurial minds that are now growing, because we can see we can all be owners.
Yeah.
We can all create.
Yeah.
But at that time, again, we done it, but we just didn't see the vision because it wasn't a reality to think that two kids from London could be creating a string of shows and a string of you know what I'm saying? So, but if it didn't go well, we probably would have given up. But we still, everything we done from that point was passion focused really. But now, I guess we're bringing a business element into it to try and create a movement. Hence why we've got like all of these cool brands that are on board with this project, like sponsors and partners and whatnot.
Okay,
right. So yeah.
Cool. So that's a while back. So in between then and now, you've done a few things. You've gone on separate ventures, I suppose, and done your own acting on other projects as well. Yeah, adverts and all that sort of stuff. So what's the project that we've got happening now? So what's it called and what's it about?
So yes, the Wright Brothers. It's a romantic comedy, and it's basically the story follows three brothers. They all got different characteristics. One of them's a womanizer, like a gallus. One of them's a money man, all about image, and one of them's like a nerd, all about his schoolwork, basically.
Okay.
And through coincidence, or by chance rather, they meet the same girl, and their story of love pans out, basically, innit? The main girl is called Amani, and that's played by Paige Keiki.
Okay.
And yes, it's you know.
So hold on a minute. So Paige Keiki, Amani, is playing the field. So she's got these three men.
But not. She doesn't know it. Do you know what I mean? So it's not. You have to come and watch it to see how the story unravels. You know what I mean? I don't want to give too much away in it, but she doesn't. I can say that she doesn't know that she's doing like she's
being naughty.
Basically. So,
Okay. How did you get this cast together? So we've got Paige Keiki. People will be familiar with the name, rapper, and she's also done a bit of acting.
Yeah.
Who else you got in this place? Some other familiar names?
Yeah, we've got Lola Jagan. She does a lot of online stuff as well. I think she had a BBC Three a show as well.
Okay.
So she does a lot of like online comedy.
How did you come across her?
We just seen her work, and we were just fans of her.
So you didn't know her before necessarily? Now you just reached out to her for this project?
100, yeah. Lavina Beck, who was on Love Island, Castle Amor. This was last year.
Lost.
Aliyah Muribi and Esther, they're like online kind of influencers and do a lot of like blogging and vlogging and things like that as well. So, we just kind of reached out to them and said, look, this is the vision, this is what we want to do. We're trying to create something new here.
And so as far as you're concerned, these are completely new to you. You've never worked with these people before.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. So everyone was on board immediately and happy. So how does it work? So you're saying, I've got these projects. Do they say, send me the script, let me have a read through it?
So we held auditions for the roles. Apart from those that we had known were actors like Lola and Paige, we'd seen their work before, so we didn't have to do that process.
Sure, yeah.
But it was a process of reading the script. You know, do you like it? Is it something you can see yourself doing?
Yeah.
Going back and forth with other sort of conversations, and then it's like, yeah, cool, confirmed, and moving forward. But with everyone, we had approached like quite a long list of people that we had approached with the idea of the project, and we had a lot of interest. We had a lot of auditions, and a lot of people got turned away. And
What's
then
that like? The auditioning process?
It's fierce because everyone wants the role, right? And not necessarily because the show's amazing, but just because everyone wants to get.
Well, they're there for a reason, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you want to be a part of a project, you're gonna really want it.
Yeah.
And it's difficult because sometimes everyone's amazing.
Yeah.
Like all 10 auditions you're gonna have could be great.
Yeah.
But then you have to choose one of them.
So what do you go on? Do you just go on the energy or the feeling, or?
I think, well, me personally, I will go with you have to look right. The energy's got to be right. Even small things like, because if 10 of them were great in terms of performance-wise, there's small things that will differentiate them. Like, all right, cool, this person knew all of the lines for the rehearsal, for the audition. It was just 2 pages, but she learned it all off script. That's things you notice. That's it shows like a proactive approach. Or it could be somebody that's like, all right, maybe their target audience isn't necessarily going to be right for our show, although they're really great. It's like, well, from a business perspective, it might not work. So there's other small nuances that can differentiate them, where they live, even, like, we had some people that wanted to be involved from outside of London, some big names. I'm not going to go into who, but they were interested in getting involved, but it was like, all right,
logistics,
it just wasn't, logistics wasn't going to work. So there's all these small nuances that can change. That's me. I don't. Ty's got it.
Is this the biggest project that you've put together so far, would you say?
Independently, definitely. I mean, because we had an ITV2 show, our own show, the Ty and Kai show.
Okay, did you really?
Yeah.
Maybe that's where I've seen your face then before, because that would make sense, but I don't remember it. So
maybe.
What was that show then?
So
it's
basically
your own show on BBC Two?
ITV2,
sorry.
Yeah, so just after X Factor, so it was like a prime time show. And it was dope, it was fun. The idea and the energy of it was fun. Unfortunately, through various reasons, the end product wasn't what we wanted it to be, and that was because when you I don't want to get too much into the political side of things, but we had to let go a lot of the creative control basically in it, and as a result of that, you end up with a project that you don't necessarily.
What kind of show was it?
So it was a sketch show. So it's like Little Britain, or I don't know if you know what they called again, Key and Peele. Basically it's just a sketch show, and it was just us, doing different characters, doing different accents, just loads of different things basically. And it was fun. It was a good experience, and it opened up a lot of doors for us. That was the main thing. It opened so many doors for us, and so many conversations came off the back of it. But that actual project itself wasn't, for me speaking for myself, wasn't something that I really shout about, because it didn't turn out to be what we had hoped it to be. But this is the biggest project that we've done ourselves, so independently, that we've put out. We've put our own money into it. We've kind of produced it and really pushed it ourselves. So I would say, to answer your question.
Okay, just so I've got an idea, like timescales. How long ago was this show, the ITV2 show?
What was it, 2016?
Okay, it's not long ago. Yeah. Okay, all right, cool. So this is the biggest project. So you put all your money into this. Hoping for big things. How do you promote something like this, and to make sure that people are aware of it, and just know, because obviously you're here today.
Yeah.
I know you're with my friend Linda. Big shout out to Linda. Hosted the other day. How do you go about promoting this, to making sure that you reach the widest audience possible?
Yeah, I mean, that's a conversation that I guess every brand and every business always has, really, isn't it? It's there's no one way. You got to do what's right for the people you're trying to target, right? And we know that our target audience, and a lot of the people that we want to bring down, is going to be new to theatre, necessarily hasn't seen theatre before. And obviously they're going to be a lot younger. So Instagram and social media is obviously the best way to really reach that kind of audience. And we've used Instagram very, very heavy. The good thing is that the cast that we've got on board obviously have a real presence on Instagram. So they already have a reach, and they're already speaking to an active audience who engage with them. So that's obviously been a massive help. And we've tried different ones. We've sold the show. We've put out videos that sell in the show. We've put out videos that are the reason why these type of shows are important. We've done videos about why is it important to have different narratives of our community. So it's just about, what we really want to do is just start an important conversation about why it's important for everyone to tell their own stories, rather than just the same story that comes out of Black Britain, or however you want to pull it.
And you almost touched on something that I was just directing my question towards. Would you say theatre is as popular as it was? But the question I'm really getting to is, and as you brought up rightly, you're targeting a young audience. Now, I don't know, and it's because I don't go theatre that much, but I don't know how popular theatre is now in comparison to how much it used to be, but I'd imagine that it's not as popular as it was. And that being the case, and it's supposed to go hand in hand, I assume that it's not as popular with the younger generation as it is with the older generation. So how do you get to the younger generation and convince them that, you know what, come to the theatre, somewhere that they're probably not used to going unless it's been like a school trip. How do you convince them to go there to appreciate what you're putting on?
Great question. Great question. And that's the biggest challenge we have. The biggest challenge is, what is it?
Yeah.
And so we can explain the why. Why should you come to it? Well, because it's a different type of story, something you haven't experienced before. You know, it's also a different type of story to what you're seeing coming out of London. But what is it? And that's the biggest challenge we have in terms of trying to educate people on what it is. So the only way we can do that is by using videos of previous productions we've had. But it still doesn't reside very well. You have to almost get there and see it. And I think the biggest, I think what's going to be one of the greatest stepping stones for us is this show, because off the back of this show, we'll have hopefully quite a lot more conversations going on about it from these groups telling their friends of friends. The biggest form of marketing is word of mouth. Whether that's across social media or whatever, the biggest way is by telling other people. So once this show happens, the next one we do will be even easier to promote, because people would already have spoken about the last one. We'll have so much footage of people coming in and seeing it. They'll be sharing it to their friends and stuff. So it's almost like we're going against the tide right now. We're starting we're bringing something new to the market. And that's probably the biggest challenge at the moment. The biggest challenge is getting that understanding and education to the audience about it. It's not limited to just young people to watch the show. It's, we have like, it's like a big range of people can appreciate it, but we want to bring that younger audience into this world. And it's not easy, but this is the first step into that territory. And then, off the back of that, it will be easier to start telling them, because they would have seen it, they would have heard about it, they'll be talking about it, and that'll be that.
And you're also doing something slightly different, so you're not going like everybody else does. So, and I don't want to generalize, but black production, where's the gangster, where's the drug dealer, where's the shooter? So you're not trying to do that. You're deliberately going against that, which is a conversation I have all the time. So I've got a friend of mine, Sam Addo, he put on a play last year, and he deliberately wanted to make sure that the film had no N-words in it, no B-words in it. It's kind of like a love story of sorts, just like this. How do you feel about the fact that so much that's put up from the urban community is of the gangsters, drug dealers, and all the rest of it?
So the thing is that those stories are very important, because the truth is that for a lot of people, that's their reality. And what those projects do is bringing an awareness to a wider audience of the challenges and the impact they have on our communities.
Would you say awareness or glamorizing? 'Cause that's the argument.
Well, it's a thin line, isn't it? It depends on how you want to see it, innit? If you look at it and you learn from it and you say, raw, that's how, at the end of the film, more time the main character, the main gangster dies or goes to jail, right? So there's a lesson in it anyway. But if you look at it and you'll see in the beginning where there's chains and big cars, and that's all you're taking from it, rather than the fact that he went to jail at the end or he died at the end. And obviously that's down to the person, innit? We can't, as a filmmaker or as a creative, you can't really dictate how someone accepts your projects, right? So just to say, so those projects are important and we think they should be told, but that's not the only story coming from our community, because the truth is that not everyone lives that lifestyle, not everyone can relate to that lifestyle, right? So we're just trying to tell something different. I always say, you might have, Jermaine, who's getting ready to ride out on these ops down the road, but his next door neighbor might be getting ready to go on a date. Do you know what I mean? And he's living a completely different lifestyle from his next door neighbor. Do you know what I mean? So we're trying to tell that next door neighbor's story, like, he's met Charlene and they're gonna go out and have a good time when the time. Do you know what I mean? So that's why it's important, because so that's literally what it is, you know what I mean? So it's important for all different types of stories to be told from where we're from, rather than, as you say, just the same old story, because then the commissioners at the top, the people, the gatekeepers, they're only going to keep commissioning the shows that they think people want to see, if that's what we're putting out ourselves, which is why shows like this is important, because they can see, these people are actually coming out to watch a different type of content from their community. So then they will open up the checkbooks and say, okay, cool, there's money in it. Here's the money, go make it. And hopefully a film will come out about love from our community. My argument is the ratio. So like people say, you can't have all these gangster movies and all the rest of it and blah, blah, blah. Now, I don't have a problem with the gangster movies. But like, for example, if you go to America,
you might have like for example, they've got a Fresh Prince, or they've got My Wife and Kids, or they've got like successful families and Martin, whatever they've had. They've had that as well as the gangsters and the rest of it. But over here, you've got Top Boy, and then you've got another gangster one. You've got the Blue Story. You don't have any, with the exception of Bulletproof. I think that's the only leading black cast I can think of that's not negative.
100%. I think that the first thing to consider and bear in mind is that America has a bigger urban black audience.
Yeah.
So, not so, but a bigger black audience
Yeah.
that would appreciate that type of content. So they are prepared to invest in it more.
Yeah.
Whereas UK, we don't have that much demand for it. Well, we have the demand, but we just don't have as much. Yeah, we haven't got the resources. We haven't got as much. The audience isn't as big as America, so they're not as quickly willing to put the money up to make it happen. But I think that that's the point of, so that exactly what we're trying to do right now is show that, okay, these stories do exist, and we will have people coming across the whole of next week coming to our show.
Yeah.
So when people can see, oh, right, and enjoying the show, hopefully, I'm sure they will. But you know, when you know, people, the gatekeepers see that these shows are appreciated, people actually want to see it, then the tide will begin to change. So we're out here amongst other shows that have been put out. Like, I don't know if you know about Brothers with No Game. That was a YouTube series. That done so well as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's going on with them now, but that done so well. That was a little bit ahead of its time.
Yeah.
If that came out now, I wouldn't be surprised if it made it to a TV show because the amount of talking about it was everyone was talking about the show.
It was brilliant. And I've got one friend who was literally, they had a guy called, I think they called him Emil Heskey, the Emil Heskey guy. That is my best friend. They said basically he's like Emil Heskey, and they pointed out why he's like Emil Heskey, because he doesn't score. He assists. That's my friend. Shout out Andrew, man, like Andrew. Like him to a teaser, I used to love that. Yeah, so it's brilliant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they do exist, and they do have a demand, as we saw when that came out. Everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do is reach out to a wider audience, and you know, and try and use people that have that influence and that support around them, and that are also incredibly talented to tell this story, so that when the other people in positions of power see it, they begin to commission shows like this. Not necessarily our show, even other shows that are getting pitched. You know, of the same sort of breath, like Martin, like My Wife and Kids, like this stuff. They'll start saying, you know what, the Wright Brothers with Ty and Kai, that was done really, really well. They had this much people this
that's
week.
what it needs.
Let's give this other one a chance.
It needs someone to kickstart it and kick the door down.
Exactly. So yeah.
Cool. So that being said, anyone who's interested, who's liking the sound of this and wants to go and see the play, where do they go? How do they get tickets?
So the easiest way of getting tickets is from our Instagram page, which is Wright Brothers Play. That's right with a W. That's WRIGHT Brothers Play. And the ticket link is in the bio. All the information is on there. If you can just DM us if you have any questions. But that is probably the easiest way of following our journey, seeing the content on our page, seeing the conversations we've started, seeing the cast members that's in it as well. And then, the link is in the bio, so you can buy your ticket there.
Cool. Okay. And when does it start? When does it end?
So it opens on Monday the 3rd of February.
So this Monday coming?
Yep, Monday coming, right up until Saturday the 8th of February. And there's an after party on the Saturday straight after the last show, where we're going to turn up and have fun and have a good time, man.
All right. Okay. And where is it, obviously?
It's at the Pleasance Theatre. Important question, isn't it? Yeah, it's a Pleasance Theatre in Islington, just off Caledonian Road. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So one more time, the social media.
Wright Brothers Play. That's WRIGHT Brothers Play on Instagram, and all the information is there.
Ty and Kai, thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.